Welcome to Fun English Daily. Ready to level up your English? Here we learn through stories, slow, clear, and fun. Listen, relax, and enjoy the journey. One introduction. When you see pictures or news about the British royal family, you often see big, beautiful events. Think about royal weddings. They look like they cost a lot of money. You might also see large palaces, expensive clothes, and travel to different countries. These things make people wonder just how rich is the royal family. Do they have a lot of money? It is a good question, but finding a simple, clear answer is quite difficult. The financial situation of the royal family is not fully public. Much of it is private. Also, the way they get and use money is complex. It involves different old rules and systems that have been in place for a very long time. So saying one simple number for their total wealth is not easy or always correct. In this book, we will try to make this complex topic easier to understand. We will explore the different ways the British royal family gets its money. We will look at the main sources of their income. We will learn about money that comes from the government, which is paid by the people of the country. This money helps the family do their official jobs and look after important buildings. We will also learn about money that comes from land and property that the family has owned for many centuries. This is a private source of income for the head of the family and the person who will be the next head. And we will look at the money and things that the Queen and other family members own personally. These different sources work in special ways. Understanding them helps us see the full picture of the family's money. However, the story of the royal family and money is more than just numbers and buildings. It is also about the long history and traditions they follow. It is about their role and the work they do for the country and the world. This is often called public service, and it is about their fame and image around the world, which some people call their brand. These things are also a big part of what the royal family is and how people see their value. So to understand the royal family's wealth, we need to look at the private money, the public money, the history, the work they do, and their global image. We will look at all these parts to understand how the British royal family is supported and what their wealth truly means in today's world. Let's start our journey to discover more about this interesting topic. To how much money does the Queen have? Who is the richest person in the British royal family? It is Queen Elizabeth II. People often ask how much money she has. It is difficult to know exactly because her personal money is private, but some people who study money have made a guess. One guess is that the Queen's personal money is about $530 million. This might sound like a lot of money, and it is. However, if you look at the richest people in the world today, the Queen's money is not enough to be on that list. There are many business people and others who have much more money than this. So while the Queen is very rich, she is not one of the richest people on earth. Where does this money come from? The Queen gets money from different places. It is a little complex, but we can think about three main sources. These are the three ways the Queen gets her income and her personal wealth. The first source is her own personal money and property. This is wealth that belongs to her as a person, not because she is the Queen. This includes things she received from her family, like her father. It also includes money from her own investments. The second source is called the sovereign grant. This is money the Queen receives every year from the government. This money comes from people in the United Kingdom who pay taxes. The sovereign grant is used for the Queen's official work. For example, it pays for travel to different places, for the people who work for her, and for keeping some of the royal houses in good condition. The third source is called the privy purse. This is money that comes from some old land, buildings, and other things that have belonged to the royal family for a long time. This land and property is managed to make money, and that money goes to the Queen. These three sources, her personal wealth, the sovereign grant, and the privy purse, are the main ways Queen Elizabeth II gets her money. Understanding these helps us see how the royal family is supported financially. The next chapters will explain more about each of these sources in detail. 3. Money from the people. One way the royal family gets money is called the sovereign grant. This is a payment that comes every year from the government. The government gets its money from the people who live and work in the country, the taxpayers. So the sovereign grant is money from the people. This money is not for the Queen or the royal family to spend on personal things. It has a special purpose. The sovereign grant helps the Queen do her job. Her job includes many official duties, like meeting people from other countries or going to important events. The money pays for the cost of these duties. It also pays for travel when the Queen and other working royals need to go to different places for their duties. Another important use for this money is paying the people who work for the royal family. Many people are needed to help with the official work and manage the royal households. A big part of the sovereign grant is used for keeping the royal palaces in good condition. These are very old and large buildings like Buckingham Palace. They need a lot of work to stay safe and beautiful. The money helps pay for repairs and cleaning and making sure the buildings are looked after. Thinking about how much money this is for each person in the country, it costs about the same as buying one stamp for a letter each year. It is a small amount from each person, but together it makes the sovereign grant. Why does the government give this money to the royal family? This system started a very long time ago. In the past, kings and queens owned a lot of land, but one king, King George III, made an agreement. He gave the income from his lands to the government. In return, the government agreed to give the royal family a fixed amount of money each year to do their job. This was a deal to help both the government and the monarchy. This old agreement is the reason for the sovereign grant today, connecting the monarchy's work to money from the people for the family's private land. Besides the money from the government, the king or queen has another way to get money. This is called the privy purse. The main part of this money comes from something called the Duchy of Lancaster. The Duchy of Lancaster is a special collection of land, buildings, and other things that make money. It has land in many different places. It also owns farms, houses, and shops. All these properties make money. The income from the Duchy of Lancaster is private. It goes directly to the person who is the ruling king or queen. This income helps them pay for private costs and some official duties. The value of the Duchy of Lancaster is very large, around $700 million. Every year it gives the king or queen a large amount of money, about $25 million. There is another similar collection of land and property. This is called the Duchy of Cornwall. This duchy works in the same way. It owns land, buildings, and other assets. The Duchy of Cornwall is also very large. It includes about 130,000 acres of land. It has castles, holiday houses, and even a sports area. The money made by the Duchy of Cornwall does not go to the king or queen. It goes to the person who is next in line to become king or queen. This person is called the heir to the throne. Today, the heir is Prince Charles, so the income from the Duchy of Cornwall goes to him. This money helps Prince Charles pay for his public work and support his family. For example, in 2019, some of this money went to his sons, Prince William and Prince Harry. Prince Charles's total wealth is estimated to be around $400 million. So the privy purse, mainly from the Duchy of Lancaster, gives money to the king or queen, and the Duchy of Cornwall gives money to the person who will be the next king or queen. These two duchies are important parts of the family's private money. 5. The Queen's personal property. We have talked about the money the Queen gets from the government and the money from the Duchy of Lancaster. But the Queen also has her own money. This is her personal wealth. It is separate from the money that comes from the state or the duchies. Her personal wealth includes things that belong only to her. She has private estates. These are like large houses with land. She has two main ones. One is called Balmoral Castle. It is in Scotland. The other is called Sandringham Estate. It is in the English countryside. These are not properties that belong to the state. They are the Queen's private homes. The Queen did not buy these homes herself. She got them from her father. She inherited them after he died. These two estates are worth a lot of money. People think they are worth hundreds of millions of pounds. The Queen's personal wealth also includes other valuable things. She has her own collection of art. She also has her own collection of jewelry. These are not the famous crown jewels which belong to the country. These are private things. She also has money invested in different places. This is called an investment portfolio. Besides these properties and things, the Queen also has income from her hobbies. One of her hobbies is horse racing. She owns horses that race. When her horses win, she earns money. It is reported that she has earned millions of pounds from horse racing over many years. This money is also part of her personal income. So the Queen has her own money and things that are completely private. This is different from the money she gets from the government or the income from the Duchy of Lancaster. Her personal property includes her private homes, her collections, her investments, and income from her interests like horse racing. It makes up a part of her total wealth. 6. What they do not own. Sometimes people think the royal family owns everything that is very valuable and connected to them. They see the large palaces, the famous art, and the sparkling jewels used for important events. They might think these things are part of the Queen's personal wealth or the family's private money, but this is not true for many of the most valuable things. There are two main things that are often linked to the royal family, but are not their private property. The first is called the Crown Estate. This is a very large business that owns land and buildings all around the United Kingdom. It owns shops, offices, and large areas of land. It is worth many, many billions of pounds. But the Crown Estate is not owned by the Queen personally. It is managed by a special group of people. The money that this business makes does not go into the royal family's pockets. Instead, almost all of the profits go to the UK government. This system started a long time ago when a king made an agreement with the government. The second important thing is the Royal Collection Trust. This is a collection of very famous and valuable items. It includes many beautiful palaces like Buckingham Palace, thousands of pieces of art, and the famous crown jewels. These are the special crowns and jewels used for coronations and other big ceremonies. This collection is also worth many billions. However, like the Crown Estate, these items are not the private property of the king or queen. They are held in trust. This means they belong to the nation, to the country. They are kept safe for everyone in the UK to see and enjoy, and for people in the future. The Queen looks after them, but she does not own them personally. So while the royal family has private wealth, many of the things people think they own actually belong to the country's seven, a different path. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, decided to follow a different path for their future. They chose to step back from their roles as working royals, which meant they would change how they were financially supported. When they were working members of the royal family, they received money from two main sources. A small part of their income came from the sovereign grant, which is money provided by the UK government and comes from taxpayers. A much larger part of their income came from Prince Charles, Harry's father. This money was generated by the Duchy of Cornwall, a large collection of land, property, and investments that provides income for the heir to the throne. Harry and Meghan stated publicly that they wanted to become financially independent. Their aim was to earn their own money and no longer rely on public funds from the sovereign grant or the income from the Duchy of Cornwall. They already had personal wealth before they made this decision. Meghan had a successful career as an actress before she married Harry and had earned money from her work. Prince Harry also received an inheritance from his mother, Princess Diana, after her death. By choosing this new path, Harry and Meghan stopped receiving the money that came from the sovereign grant and the Duchy of Cornwall. This allowed them to pursue various independent jobs, projects, and business activities to earn their own income. However, their decision also led to public debate. Many people questioned whether it was right for them to use their royal titles and their connection to the monarchy, which is a very famous brand, to build their own private businesses and earn money. Traditionally, members of the royal family who work for the crown do not have separate jobs or earn private incomes in this way. Their role is seen as public service, supported by the established financial system. Harry and Meghan's choice presented a new model for younger generations of the royal family. It raised important questions about how royals can balance their traditional roles with the possibility of having independent careers and finances in the modern world. It suggested that the long-standing financial rules and expectations for the royal family might need to change or become more flexible in the future. This different path highlighted the challenges and opportunities of being a modern royal figure ate the monarchy's real worth. We have learned about the money the royal family has. We saw where their money comes from. There is money from the government, money from their land, and their own private money. But thinking about the monarchy's worth is not just about counting pounds and dollars. There is another idea. Think about the monarchy like a very famous company or product. It has a brand. This brand is known all over the world. This famous brand brings value to the country, the United Kingdom. How many people come to the UK because of the royal family? They visit palaces and places they have seen on television or in the news. This is tourism. Tourism brings a lot of money to the country. Also, people all over the world are interested in the royal family. News about them is watched and read by millions. This global interest is like free advertising for the UK. It makes people think about visiting or doing business with the UK. Experts have tried to measure this value. Some say the monarchy's brand brings more than £1 billion to the UK economy every year. This is a very large amount of money. It comes from tourism, media deals, and other things related to the royal image. So when we think about the monarchy's worth, it is a complex picture. There is a family's private money, which is a lot, but perhaps less than some people think. There are the public funds they use for their official work, and there is this large economic value that their brand brings to the country. The true worth of the monarchy is a mix of these things. It is not just about how much money one person has. It is about the money they use for their job and the money they help bring to the UK economy. This way of funding and valuing the monarchy is very old. It has changed over time, and maybe it will change more in the future. But for now, this mix of private money, public money, and brand value is how the monarchy works.